The grappler. A skilled player more likely uses a grappler. Literally almost 90% of players main grappler. Why does everyone use a grappler? What's so special about it? How powerful was it? When did this happen? Why? Well, today I'll be answering all these questions, as well as the history of the grappler, a gear that turns you into a Spider-Man on steroids. Throwing webs on buildings to climb easily. How did this simple grappling hook made its way until today? Well, let's find out. If you haven't noticed yet, which I'm pretty sure you have, I've been changing my content style to documentaries. So tell me if you guys are liking it. Thanks for all the positive comments on my last video. Really makes me motivated to make more. Nevertheless, enjoy the video. Firstly, we have to go back to 2019. More specifically, the 13th of August. The Birth of Grappler. At its first release, the grappler costs 440 Robux, and it is only obtainable by buying the said game pass. The grappler, along with Bloxy Cola and Evo Glove, Hudzel stated quote, "I added more game passes and parties/activities, tell me if you break it." On this exact day, 3 game passes were added. And rich players quickly rushed to buy the game pass. Sadly, broke people has to stick with the old usual mag rope. Going back, Hudzel said, "I added more game passes and parties/activities, tell me if you break it." A few months have passed, grappler wasn't the meta yet. Players find ways to break the game passes including grappler. After looking for bugs on the grappler, these bugs were found such as the infamous fall cancel, the grappler high jump, and more. These bugs were game-breaking, and for some reason, instead of fixing these game-breaking bugs, the developers turned it into a grappler mechanic. Hence the advanced movements for grappler were born. After this discovery, the community is now spreading the news. Players now started to switch to grappler and master every mechanic possible. More movements were made such as ledge dashes, grappler dashes, and more. However, the grappler is a hard gear to use, and some players are staying on power grip due to its cheaper price and it's much easier. But some players changed to grappler completely. Sure, the grappler is harder to use, but it has its own benefits. It has more movements than power grip, it's much more fun to use, it has the power to save runs by fall cancelling, and more. The power grip versus grappler debate also started. The power grip is best for combo runs, while grappler is best for running. Grappler wins this debate due to its obvious differences between power grip. The owner even stated the winner of this debate, even showing a video on which gear wins. So it's safe to say that the grappler is far superior than power grip, thus ends this debate. The old back gears were useless. Spring kit, places a springboard and jump on it to do a high jump. Zipline kit, places a player-made zipline. Not that beneficial on runs, hence 2 new back gears were made. These were the adrenaline belt, and paraglider. Self-explanatory, adrenaline gives a temporary speed boost. Paraglider makes you glide through the air. These new back ear game passes were mostly paired with grappler. Mainly paraglider, as it makes fall cancelling much easier. The downside is, it drops combo upon usage, not perfect for combo runs. Adrenaline was also paired with grappler, as it's good for speed, running, and combos. Although adrenaline had a slight speed change, this made adrenaline a bit harder to control, as players are used to the normal speed. Nonetheless, the community has now started to master these said gears. Players are now starting to consistently do advanced movements, and almost everyone was now using a grappler. A few months have passed. Once again, a new left arm gear was added. This was a gear called Mag Rail. Broke people were happy as Mag Rail is unlockable on level 120. High-level players who had Mag Rail immediately tried the gear out upon its release. A lot of players liked Mag Rail because of its bouncing ability used on walls. And as usual, players have also now started to master the gear itself. discovering a new potential meta, which means a new competitor for Grappler. Mag Rail, with its bouncing ability called Mag Bounce, has a few seconds of cooldown upon usage, and this can be used infinitely. Unlike Grappler with its one-time usage, this can only be reset by touching the ground. Although Mag Rail and Grappler have its own pros and cons, both gears are superior. Even though a lot of players main Grappler, Mag Rail on the other hand, can be better than Grappler in some situations. With the right player, proper usage, and correct gear, the best gear is best. Since a lot of players main Grappler, Grappler will stay and keeps the title, as the meta of Roblox Parkour. A new update has been released. Wall running had a slight change. You can now wall run dash. This depends on your speed and velocity. If you have noticed, which I'm pretty sure you had, after jumping on a wall run, you see an obvious change in speed. This mechanic is called wall run dashing. Wall run dashing can only be executed if you have a ton of speed or velocity. Players decided to play around with this mechanic, hence a new meta was born. I won't go too deep on this part since I have already made a video about wall run dashing. Back on the topic, after this discovery, a new ton of movements were made for gears such as Grappler wall run dashing, mag dashing, and more. The game just went from simple runs to speed-based dashing. Grappler had a few tweaks as well, but this didn't matter to the players. Due to the players' mastery on Grappler, the gear just got even more better. Grappler was now commonly paired with an adrenaline belt since it helps with dashing. A few months passed, the swap vault or let's say, speed vault, got buffed. If you speed vault at the right speed or velocity, you will gain speed similar to wall run dashing. With this update, a new mechanic for any gear including Grappler, was made. Grappler gaps can now be combined with speed vaults, and this just made even more potential gaps for the Grappler itself, including the other gears. The game had consistent updates on which the community didn't expect. Another few months have passed, sliding got a rework. Instead of the old boring slide, we had a new animation, a new rework, with obvious differences between past sliding. You can maintain your speed when sliding. High speeds also count, which means you can maintain high speeds even while touching the ground by sliding. This gives much more potential gaps for Grappler, allowing long gaps, whatever this thing is, speed, and more. Months passed, almost all of the Game Pass gears are now unlockable. Grappler is also now unlockable on level 300. Most of the Game Passes are unlockable on a set level. Broke people can now experience the gears as long as they grind for it. However, you can still unlock the gear early on by buying the Game Pass. Most of the player base has mastered all of the previously mentioned mechanics, with players just speeding through the map like it's nothing. This is probably why ranked mode was made, so players could compete with each other with their different skill sets. The ranked mode had a new different approach to the game, turning Roblox Parkour into a competitive game. If you like being competitive, then ranked mode is for you. There are 3 different ranked matches. These are Grappler, Mag Rail, and Gearless. All these are options. On a ranked 1v1 match, both players are assigned on a role. The follower, which follows the escaper. The escape, which escapes the follower. Both roles change on each round. Whoever gets more than 3 round wins the match. Players who won will be rewarded with a rank, and the best of the best will only reach the top ranks. This is where all of the advanced mechanics were used, including Grappler. And this is also where the Grappler stands today, still claims its title as the meta. Continues to dominate the game. But of course, whether you main a Grappler, Mag Rail, Power Grip, or Gearless, it's all personal preference in the end. How about the future? Well, I guess we will have to wait and see. Have fun dashing, flying, and running. My name is Top Secret, thanks for watching.